Morning, Haley. How you doing? Good. Glad you're here, Haley. How's the sound? Everything okay? Can you see me? Let's adjust that a little bit. By the way, I got your very spiky response to my response on LinkedIn. I'll give you another reply later today that actually answers your question, Haley. But, sound is good? Morning, Rob. Martin Warlow's here. Graham's here. Sound is good. Everything is good. I just called him Graham. We'll just kind of edit that out later on. All good. All good. We'll just wait a couple more minutes. Take a little drink of alcohol-free vodka. Oops. What are you oopsing about, Rob? It's too early on a Saturday to be oopsing. What have you haven't had time to mess anything up yet. So, let's see. Morning, Adam. Good to see you this morning. Or good to be seen by you this morning, I guess would be the way to say that. Let's see. All right, well, let's get started. Good morning, everybody. I am Michael Nagles. I'm the network leader for 4 Networking. I want to thank you for joining me this morning for 4NTV Live on a Saturday. This week is a little bit different. I'm going to be doing, instead of an actual foresight, I'm going to be doing an update on what's going on in the network. We're calling it the Autumn Statement. I'll give you some statistics and data on where we are year to date, some of our strengths within the network, and then I'll tell you about a couple of things we've got planned, and with the time that remains after that, I'll take questions. So start thinking of your questions. Tell you what we'll do, Todd, is our usual thing. I will get Todd to make a note of the questions, and if we have time for a Q&A, I'll bring Todd in at the end, and we'll do it that way. Todd will let me know if that's okay with him. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't done his hair and makeup yet, so you never know. Todd might not be prepared. As always, at every 4N meeting, we start off with a 40-second round. And so we're going to start off with a 40-second round here this morning. Instead of a verbal 40-second round, you can post it in 40 words as a Facebook comment on this thread. This is a brief pitch about you and your business, and everybody will be able to see that. So I won't attempt to read them all out, but I will read a couple of them. Todd, if you're not ready, we don't have to do it that way. I did kind of make it up as I went along there. So as a tip for future weeks, you want to have your 40-second or 40-word round ready in a cut and paste and just drop it in as we go. But you can start dropping those in right now, and since I've got sound, I'll do mine. So my name's Michael Nagles. I'm the network leader for Networking. I'm sure you've heard of us, right? So I work with 23 regional leaders, 102 area leaders, and 836 team members all across the nation to make 4 Networking work for our members. So we create together, me and that team of winning people, create great networking opportunities all across the United Kingdom, 250 groups across the country, 5,000 meetings every year, so that 4 networking members all across the country have a great opportunity to grow their business. So start dropping in your 40-word rounds, and I'll read off a few of them. Type faster. Rob Levick, the rock music DJ on Radio Warwickshire, Monday nights at 8 o'clock. Radio Warwickshire is just really taken off. See that all the time now. Kimba Cooper from Kimba Digital Marketing helps businesses step up their game online. Easy John just walked in. Hey John, how are you? Come on, type faster. Drop them in there. 18 people on. Graham Todd. Never heard of him. Keep going, keep going. Keep going. Yeah, Radio Warwickshire does rock. I'll have to check out Rob's show. I've caught Kirk Pickstone a few times doing his country show, so I'll have to check out Rob's rock show. All right. Are you really? John Cooper's joining Radio Warwickshire too. How many? There must only be 3 people on here that aren't on Radio Warwickshire. All right. All right. Well, keep adding in your 40-word round. You can keep doing those and talking amongst yourselves while I get started. But I'm going to go ahead and kick off the main part of the show, which is the autumn statement. Just going to give you a little bit of an update on what's going on in 4 networking. Not like the normal Friday wrap-up where I talk specifically about teams and groups. This is going to be a little broader insight into what's happening in the network. So this is the autumn statement. Although I can't see you today, it'd be great to know that you're watching, so keep the comments coming. Feel free to drop questions in there, and we'll try to take those as they come. And do me a favor and keep smashing those emojis and the like button because it just makes me feel like you want me here. So keep smashing those all through the 4 and TV Live this morning. And if you are watching this on the replay, you can still do that as well. So, just a few things about where we are in the network year to date as we get ready to end third quarter. Some updates from the entire operation. So, we started off this year in a strong position, ready to take on the year. Brad Burton, the founder of 4 Networking, settling very comfortably into the role of founder and handing off the reins of the network fully to Jason Dutton, who is the managing director now and has done great work this year in stabilizing the network. And stability is probably the biggest watchword for us this year, is just a consistent approach to everything that we do. Setting a plan, plotting a course, and sticking to the plan has become our strength, probably more than anything else in 2017. So 2017 has been a year of stability and building for us. The goal going into 2018 is growth, is continued growth, stronger growth of the entire network. We've had some of that already starting in the second half of the year. In the second half of the year, we have gotten up to the highest point in our history for our membership base. So we're bigger than we've ever been in the nearly 12 years of 4 Networking. Brad started the network in February of 2006. This February we'll celebrate our 12th anniversary, and we'll hit that point stronger than we've ever been. So far this year we've had 12% growth in our member base, which we're quite pleased with, remembering that it's a year of stability and not a year of growth. So to grow 12% this year has been really pleasing. Many of you will know that we've recently joined some more inviting joining offers, made it even easier for people to join us. And so with that, we expect to end up 15% by the end of the year. We expect fourth quarter to be our biggest growth quarter of the year. Year to date, our member engagement is up by about 20%. What that means is people, the percentage of people coming to meetings. In 2015, we'd kind of hit a low of 46%. Only 46% of our members were coming to meetings in 2015. That is up from 2015 quite substantially, and is at the highest point it's been in the past 5 years. So that's fantastic stuff. Not only are people joining for networking, but after they join, they're coming to the meetings, which really is what it's all about. Our member retention. Member retention coming up to the end of third quarter is 89%. We've got 89% of the members who joined for networking, and that's based on their renewals and they're staying in the network and going to meetings. So we've got strong retention right now. Again, the strongest it's ever been. In 2016, our average attendance at meetings was 17.4. We've raised that this year to 18.3. So almost, if any meeting you go to, there will be almost one more person there than there was in 2016. That has come down really to our teams. Most of this shows, Haley just said, it comes down to the great teamwork we have. Our teams are better and stronger, more educated, and more energized than they've ever been. It is truly a stronger network than it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. One of the things we've done that caused a lot of grief early in the year is we drew a line in the sand and said that we were going to stop holding meetings where we didn't have at least 10 people in the room. We have stuck with that as much as possible. Now we don't run meetings where we don't have at least 10 people confirmed. If you're watching this, that might sound really strange. We got all these members, can't get 10 in a room. Here's why. The reality is that our biggest strength is we don't have mandatory attendance. We don't make you come to the meeting. That can also be one of our biggest weaknesses. We don't make you come to the meeting. So sometimes we get to a point where there aren't enough people booked in. Our teams have done a great job of raising the bar on that incrementally over the past 6 months since we adopted a tougher stand on it. And the result of that is we are running fewer and fewer meetings with less than 10. In fact, in 3 regions, I've gotten ahead of myself in the notes. In 3 regions right now, the average meeting has 20 people or more. And across the network, as I said, the average meeting now has 18.3 people at every meeting. But 3 regions have got 20 people or more attending meetings in that region. I don't even mind telling you who they are because they deserve a little bit of praise. Craig Davies over in East Anglia, Cambridgeshire, and Norfolk. James Chisholm, our newest regional leader who's building a region virtually from scratch, has got fantastic average attendance, well over 20%. And Martin Perry in North and West, I guess that's North and East Yorkshire, is got above 20% average attendance as well. Yeah, Brad Burton. See, when Brad Burton praises the attendance, you know you got it made. So that's just 3 of the regions out of 23 that have got strong attendance. We've only got 1 region right now really struggling with attendance, and their attendance is moving up incrementally as well. So it is a strong, vibrant network right now. Let's see, what else have I got in my notes here? I talked about crap meetings. I talked about one of the things we've done recently is we've started giving regional leaders more and more data with which to manage their regions. If you don't measure your successes, it's hard to know where your failures are. And so we now give regional leaders a weekly league table where we feed back data to them that shows them 11 different metrics for their region. And we're looking at things on that report on a weekly basis now. We look at attendance, we look at member engagement, we look at the growth of the region both in members and in group count. We look at sales and retention. We look at meeting quality. We evaluate 11 different metrics, as I said, on a weekly basis now, and it's the first time in the history of 4 Networking we've ever given our leadership team that kind of consistent data. That will get refined even more as this year goes on. We tweak it every few weeks to see that we're fine-tuning it and putting the data that means the most to our leadership team out there. And that has made a big difference, because now instead of guessing whether or not we're great, we can see whether or not we're great by looking at the numbers. It's exposed a few weaknesses, and that has given the regional leaders a chance to fix things that they didn't know were wrong by giving them data that that tells them what their strengths are, but also what their weaknesses are, so they can work on it. So that is some of the stuff, and tells you a little bit about where we are right now, where we're going. Here are a few initiatives that we're working on. You'll know that a year ago in September we started 4N TV Live. That's what you're watching right now. It's our Saturday morning live foresighting opportunity for members. That continues to be very popular. We've tweaked it a little bit. We recently started broadcasting, instead of from the 4 Networking community, we now broadcast from the 4N Facebook page, but roll it into the community. That's increased our audience a little bit. Not necessarily on the day, but the long tail views over a week or so. So that's really, really good thing to be proud of. It continues to be strong. I checked in with Todd this morning, and we're booked for these Saturday morning sessions all the way through to February of 2018. Now, one of the complaints I got last week from somebody at a meeting was that the meetings in their region, the foresights, were booked 3 or 4 months in advance. So, you know, that's a sign of a strong region. If you're in a region where the foresights are booked 3 or 4 months in advance, that's a sign that the team is on their game, and they're planning ahead, and they're building solid meetings for you. If you want to foresight, get booked in. Those people that are foresighting this week have been booked in for 12 weeks. One of the things that Brad says quite frequently is the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. And so now is the best time to book into a foresight. In 12 or 16 weeks, it'll be your turn. And the same thing applies to 4N TV Live. If you want a foresight on 4N TV Live in March of 2018, get in touch with Todd this week. The other thing that we have rolled out and didn't work so well was 4 Development Live. A few months ago we rolled out 4 Development Live. We've run it for about, I think, 5 or 6 months now. We put that in the launch cycle. We put that on a Wednesday evening at 8:30, and it hasn't had quite the success we were hoping for. So we're going to fix that. We're reinventing 4 Development Live, and 4 Development Live now is going to move to the daytime. We're going to move it to Mondays at 12. Instead of fortnightly, it'll be every week. It'll still be a 30-minute format, but it's going to have a much more plotted out course. I've got in my hand here, I don't know if you can see it, that is the plan for 4 Development Live. You can see we've got content for weeks and weeks and weeks in advance. This takes us all the way up to the end of the year, this plan for a weekly 4 Development Live. No, not a Tuesday, knobhead. So that's our strategy. The first one really kicks off on Monday. Again, it'll be me. I'm doing the very first one. It is a weekly lunch and learn on this coming Monday, and it's all about the meet, like, know, and trust, and how you can make that work for you. So I'll be doing that on Monday. We have 2 different styles of 4 development that we're going to be launching or kicking off every week. The one that I'm doing is the lunch and learn, and then on the alternating Monday, we'll be hosting what's called a new member boot camp. New member boot camp will be a chance for our newest members to get their questions answered by seasoned passporters who have got the answers to the questions. So you'll get the first new member boot camp on the 2nd of October. That'll be led by Sheena Wyatt, who I really should recognize as being one of the driving forces behind this. She is the manager of for development for us, and is honestly the reason this is all coming around. So tune in for that. You'll get to see Sheena do that one. The process is every other Monday. So that is the autumn statement. That is my notes. I don't think I've left anything out that I wanted to bring to you. And that leaves us with about 5 minutes for questions. Todd, have you got your hair done, or are we just going to do it by text? Tell me what your plan is. I kind of sprung this on Todd early this morning. So I'm just going to scroll back and see if we had any questions, but if you post them in here, I can't scroll back. Doesn't work that way, does it? So start dropping your questions in there. We'll answer as many of them as I can, and if you don't have questions, we'll get on with our Saturday business show plug. That's a good idea. So business show plug and real life training. So the business show plug, don't have my diary in front of me, but I think it's the 2nd or 3rd week of November. We'll be back at the business show at London Olympia. The format this year for For Networking will be essentially the same. The stand will be essentially the same, and the speakers will be different speakers, but the format for speakers will be the same. You'll see some returning favorites and some new ones. When are we going to see Jason on live? When Jason's ready to do it. That's not really his thing. Jason's not a front of house type of person. That he leaves that down to me and Brad to be visible and be energized in the community. I do the team stuff and communication stuff. Brad does the hype and the energy, and together we make a great team. Jason's thing isn't being on foreign TV live, but if you come to TBS and TBNS, you can catch him, and you can catch him at meetings around the country. I lost track of Caroline's question. Somebody post it for me again. There were a couple of other questions, but they scroll by so fast it's hard to read them. Will there still be real-life training for teams? Absolutely, there'll still be real-life training for teams, team training, advanced team training. I just did one yesterday in Maidstone with Karen Chambers' region. I've got team training set up in Surrey with David Harris's region. I've got set up training in James Chisholm's new region. I'm going to Lincolnshire to meet with the Shirelings in a few weeks in Sheena's region. So yeah, there's team training going on, one or two every month, as many as 3 in some months. What next? What other questions? They do scroll by fast. I'm sorry if you have to keep typing them in there. But type faster, because it gets really boring when you sit here and just watch me stare at the screen. Is baby Elena camera ready? I can't speak for Elena. Michael's looking for me. Well, that's good. He should be looking for me. Well, it is extremely boring when I just sit here and stare at the screen. So, if there aren't any more questions, I'm just going to remind you of a few things. What is my favorite flavor of crisp? I'm a ready salted guy. Keeps my blood pressure right where it needs to be. When is the new website coming out? The new website will be launched the day after it's finished. We anticipate that will be sooner rather than later. But we have been working on a new website all year. We're behind schedule, and we don't mind admitting that. We're not going to launch it until it's ready. There's nothing to be gained by launching a website that's not ready. We wish and we would prefer that it was already live. But having seen the website, we started testing and proper revisions to it now. And I can tell you that that the website will be worth waiting for. When we finally launch it, you will be pleased that we put the effort into it that we did. Adam Redshaw, you would be wrong. But yeah, the website is certainly far behind schedule. We should have launched it in April, but we'll launch it when it's ready. When it's done, we'll launch it. We've already got a website that doesn't meet all of our needs. Launching a second website that doesn't meet all of our needs makes no sense. So lots of good work being done on it, though. Yeah, Brad's right. It's bloody awesome. So good morning, Margaret. Good to see you here. I met Margaret at a meeting a couple of weeks ago. Can't honestly remember where, but I do remember a meeting. I met Margaret, I think, at the launch of Leighton Buzzard, the biggest launch in the network this year. All right. Honestly, I think I've drug it out as long as I can. If there's no more questions in the next 30 seconds, we're going to wrap it up. So if I haven't answered your question, drop it in there again. Morning, Leslie. Good to see you here the first time. Hey, Oz. Oz is on that team. Oz is on that team at Leighton Buzzard, where they held the biggest launch of the year all year. Over 40 people in the room, over 20 visitors at one meeting. The largest launch in 4 networking in 2017. There are a couple of launches coming up in the next few weeks that may actually compete. Who's on 4NTV Live next week? Todd will let us know that. That's a question I should have had the answer to. Brad Burton is foresighting at a launch in October. Where's that going to be, Brad? Tell him. Four first-timers involved this morning. We'll see more and more of that. The new joining offer is bringing us a lot of new members. And the way I will wrap up today's show is this way. If you attended your first meeting in 4 networking before we introduce the new joining offers, we will give you a second chance to join right now. Contact the team in your area, your regional leader or your area leader. Contact the team and tell them that you want a second chance at getting the new first-time visitor offer, and they'll sort you out. There are a limited number of those in every region. It's not a bottomless pit, so you will have to take action fast. Some regions have already used half of their second chances for those new joining offers. So if you have already been a visitor to a meeting before we launched the new joining offers and you didn't get to take advantage of it, or if you're a lapsed member and your membership lapsed before the 15th of August, we'll give you a second chance to get back in the network, but you got to take action this week. You've got to contact a regional leader, area leader in your region, and let them know that you're interested in a second chance at a great joining offer. If you're not sure who that is, drop us a message in the Facebook group or send me a personal message and we'll connect you with the right person. All right, that's it. It's Saturday. The weather looks like it's nice. I've got plans. You've got plans. Do me a favor. It's Saturday. This is when people tend to lose their minds in the Facebook group. Try to stay calm. Try not to start any fights, and try to have a good weekend. Be safe. And I'll see you here Monday at 12 o'clock for the first of a new series of 4 Development Live. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.